Hello, everybody. Looks like the gauge says it's empty. Let's take a walk into the kitchen and see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hello, everybody. Thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews. Hopefully, this will be a treat today. This is a great big 750 milliliter bottle. This is Bolita from Cigar City, and this one was done on September 22nd of 2012. So this bottle is almost 14 months old. Definitely over a year old bottle, and this is a 9% alcohol, and it is a double brown ale. So hopefully the alcohol booziness has subsided a little bit with the cellaring for over a year. So I've not had this beer, I don't think. So this ought to be interesting. I've heard and read some different comments that some people like it and some people do not. So that's the way craft beer is. Yeah, what one person likes, the next person may not like. So it's very subjective, depending on where your palate is. Alright guys, let's get on with this one. Uh, like I said, it's from Cigar City. They're out of Tampa, Florida. This is considered an English brown ale because they use English hops in brewing this beer. Commercial description says pours a dark brown color with tan head with notes of caramel, toffee, chocolate, and toasted bread. Flavors of caramel, toffee, and chocolate notes open with interjecting notes of wood and herbal bitterness from English hop varieties, then moving back into the semi-sweet chocolate, caramel, and toffee, and it is dried out in the finish with toasted malt notes that resemble roast peanuts. So maybe it's got a little peanut butter in it. What do you think? It's got chocolate and peanuts. So maybe like a Reese cup. What do you think? Alright, this beer has 50 IBUs, so fairly bitter for a nut brown, but being a double, they're going to have some bittering hops to balance it out so it's not overly sweet. The food pairings for this beer is cheeses are the earthy, the Camembert, Fontina, your nutty cheeses, Asiago, Colby, and Parmesan, and the meat is pork and grilled meat. The glassware is a pint, becker, stein, a mug, a tumbler, a side ale, or the stein. I've got the pint glass for this. You could very easily, I could very easily brought the Dubo glass out for this, guys. It doesn't matter what you pour it into, as long as you pour it into something and not try to drink it out of the bottle. You want to release that carbonation so it doesn't fill you up as much. The beer is not recommended for stilling unless ABV exceeds the average range. Well, being a 9%er, I think it exceeds the average range. Don't think it was supposed to be a hop-forward nut brown ale, not a hoppy nut brown ale, but I don't know. This one was another one that got shoved back into the closet and just recently made it to the refrigerator. Since I looked at it and it said 9%, kind of figured in a brown ale that it wouldn't hurt to keep this one for a while, and I did. Like I said, this one's over a year old. So I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about here. No, I don't see anything else. So without further ado, let's get the cap off of this big boy. Woo, a lot of hiss. A lot of hiss on that. A lot of carbonation. A lot of carbonation. Look at that. Whole lot of carbonation. I knew when I popped that cap and it made that big hiss that it was super carbonated. And it still got bubbles climbing up on the bottle in there. So a little on the over-carbonated side, I would think. Let's pour it very gently. It's still going to produce a big head. I think this one is slightly over-carbonated. Either that or it continued fermenting in the closet while it sat in there. It has not been in the fridge, but maybe a week or so. Very effervescent. You can see the head is great big bubbles on it too. Let's take it over into the light. It is a definitely brown ale. It is brown, and I'm getting just a little bit of light around the outside of it. Looks very cloudy. I cannot see the light through it. So this may be a bottle conditioned beer. It does not say that here, and I don't think it says it on the bottle. Okay, it's got a little information on the side here. Bolita was a type of lottery popular with the working class citizens of the Ybor City district of Tampa. Bolita means little while, but profits from the illegal and often rigged game were anything but little. In the 1920s, Tampa native Charlie Wall, center label donning the dapper hat, was the undisputed kingpin of the Bolita racket. Our Bolita is a double Northern English-style brown ale that has a complex malt-forward character with notes of chocolate toffee and hints of roasted nuts in the finish. Bolita pairs well with baklava, big band music, cool evenings, and robust cigars. Ooh, I might have to fire up a robust cigar to sip on this for a little bit. So, as you can see, the head is dying down, so let's get a little bit more into the glass here. It's very murky coming out of the bottle, so doesn't say anything about bottle conditioning or unfiltered, but it is very brown in color. Cannot see through it. A lot of bubbles streaming up, reinforcing the head. So let's get a nose on it. I am getting toffee, caramel, roasted malt. I am getting just a slight hint of some nuttiness in there, maybe some peanuts or some kind of nuttiness in there. And there is a floral hoppiness in there. There is a definite hop presence for 50 IBUs. Doesn't say what hops they use, but they're in the English variety, I would think. East Kent Goldings or something like that. Smells very sweet though. Maybe a hint of some dark fruit in there. More toffee and caramel and roasted malt than anything else. Big bubbles in the head. Well, let's give it a taste. Cheers, everybody. Very unique. This is definitely a big beer. Still got a little booziness to it too, to me. It's not bad though. It's got a lot of complex flavors going with it. Got a feeling this one's going to change a little bit. Get a little more intense as it warms up. I'm on the fence on this one, guys. It's tasty, but it almost has, it's not sour, but it's on the verge of having something tart, something tart in there. Definitely got the caramel and toffee. Maybe some brown sugar. Well, it's right out of the fridge, 40 degrees. Let's let it warm up and see how much it changes and see where I'm at the end of this one. Very unique taste. A little bit boozy for a brown ale, but 9%, you got to expect that. Stick around. I'm going to share this with the other half, and we'll come back and do the final chug. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little bit left here. I'm not extremely blown away by this beer. Not as impressed as I should be from what I've read and what I've heard about this beer. So maybe I kept it a little too long. Maybe I should have. I don't know. I think it might have been just a little bit more boozy if I'd have done it fresh. So I don't know. Let's do the final chug. It's decent. I mean, it's definitely an above average beer, a well made beer. Caramel, toffee, a little nuttiness, a little semi-sweet chocolate in there. It's not quite as tart as it was when I first opened it up. It was definitely overcarbonated. You've seen the head that I got and how big the bubbles was and the hiss I got off the bottle when I popped the cap. Then when I poured her glass, I poured it super slow and got 4 fingers of head in it. So a little bit on the overcarbonated side on this particular beer. And I'm not a big fan of the overcarbonated beers. So, but it's a decent beer. I don't think it's something that I would seek out again, even though I'm probably going to give it a decent grade. Guys, as far as I'm concerned, I would like to have done this fresh instead of cellaring it, but it's a 9%er. I mean, it's that beer should have cellared well. Maybe I should have kept it in the fridge that whole time, and it may have kept fermenting in the closet in here and caused it to be that much overcarbonated. But anyway, guys, I'm going to give it a 7, which is a B+. I don't think it's quite to the A category, in my opinion. A lot of people will probably disagree with me, but some people like this beer and some people are not that impressed with it. I think it's definitely above average beer, a well-made beer. The alcohol is a little more prevalent when it's cold right out of the fridge than it is now. It's decent. Like I said, I would have liked to have tried it when it was fresh, just to see the difference in it and see if it was that much overcarbonated or whatever the deal was on that. So, guys, let's go see what the other fellows got to say. We'll go over to Beer Advocate first. They say 88, which is very good. I kind of agree with that. That's about where I put it. Not quite to the 90s, but definitely in the high 80s. Definitely tasty, like I said. I may revisit this later on down the road, but I will do it fresher and not try to cellar it for 14 months. Let's go over to Rate Beer. And Rate Beer says, oh yeah, Rate Beer says 98 overall and 94 in the style. So those guys there are pretty impressed with this beer. So my ratings and numbers might be a little lower than what they should be, but I call it like I see it. I try to be as honest as I can, and that's where I think this beer lands, is in the high 80s, 88, 89, somewhere in that area. So that's why I gave it to B+ and not the A, even though it had the date on the bottle. I think it's overcarbonated. So that may have happened in the closet while it was cellaring, because it was not in the fridge for that duration. So if you've had this one from Cigar City, I will tell you, I did light up a cigar with this to have with this, since they recommended that. I had the a cigar from Ted's Cigars. It was the Sam Adams Utopia infused cigar. Nice taste. Very easy smoking cigar as far as the mildness or the full bodiedness of it, but it was a hard drawing cigar, and it had a little crack in it. Comes in a glass tube. It had a little crack above the band, and that ended up running all the way through the band and down. So whenever I pay $12, $13 for a cigar, I don't want to see it crack or split. So, and that's what happened to that one. So I bought 3 of those, and I have 2 more in the tube in the humidor in here. So I may do a closer inspection on those and see if any of the other ones have cracks in them. If all 3 of them have cracks and splits in them, I will not be purchasing them cigars again either. But since I have all the Utopias, I was wanting to save one for one of them, but I'm going to do a close inspection on it. If it has cracks in it, I'm not going to save them. So, and you can't take them out and put them in the humidor because they're an infused cigar, and you're going to lose that. I mean, and that's unless I put it in this, which I keep the flavored cigars in. It's going to dry. It's going to lose that rich utopia taste, because that's what they've infused it with, is Sam Adams Utopia. So enough about the cigars. If you've had this beer, give me some comments back on this one, whether you liked it, didn't like it. Hit the like button, rate, comment, subscribe. Let's go see what's in the fridge tomorrow. See you then.